Hi guys, welcome to day 5 notes. Yesterday we did adding and subtracting, so naturally we're moving on to multiplying. So I know in my class we've talked about this a few times, kind of come up, I said it out loud. When you're multiplying polynomials, that's a binomial and a binomial, or a trinomial and a trinomial, or they kind of get mixed together and you're multiplying them. I keep saying just FOIL, just FOIL. Well, let's talk about what that acronym FOIL means. So just kind of taking FOIL and breaking it apart really quick. The F in FOIL means first terms. So you would multiply the first terms together. The O in FOIL means you would multiply the outside or the outer terms together. I in FOIL would be the inner or the inside terms in FOIL. And then this last one here, L, stands for last terms when you multiply. So FOIL is just that acronym, do the first, do the outer, do the inner, and do the last. And that's what I'm going to show you right here to connect this idea. So I have I'm going to show one problem on the screen at a time. So I have a binomial times a binomial. I personally think FOILing is the easiest to do this. So I do the first term. So I'll do this in red, and I'll put a little F for first. Okay, so I do x times x, which would give me x squared, and I write it below. Then I do O, which would be outside terms, and I'll put a little O for outside. Just cut me off here. Okay. And then I multiply them. So x times minus 5 is negative 5x. Now I move on to I. I is the inside or the inner terms. That would be, and you multiply 3 times x, that is 3x. And now you do the last. So the last term and the last term, you multiply 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. So I have this written out. And what I want to do, and this is what we practiced yesterday, is combining like terms. So I noticed in the middle, those two pieces in the middle are like terms. So I'm going to combine those. Nothing in the front. Combine the middle to negative 2x, and then drop down that negative 15. And this is my FOILed form. I multiplied that out. Okay, so now let's look at another. Keep practicing here. This one's a little bit different. We've seen something like this. I have just a single term, kind of like a linear function in the front, times a binomial. So all I have to do for this one's slightly different. I just have to distribute. Distributing is multiplying. So 2x squared times x is 2x to the third. And then 2x squared times 3 is positive 6x squared. And see if you can combine those. You always want to be thinking about it, but those ones are not the same. They cannot combine, so you just leave it as is. But I do write it in descending order. I keep it like that because that's in descending order. Okay, let me go and show you the next one that I have here. Come on. Problem C. Okay, it is a binomial times a binomial, so I'm going to use my FOIL because I personally think that's just a little quicker. So I do the first terms. So 2x times x is 2x squared. Then I'm going to do the outer terms, or outside terms. 2x times negative 9 is negative 18x. Then I'm going to do the inner terms. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Then I'm going to do the last terms. Negative 1 times negative 9 becomes a positive 9. And then again, if you look in the middle here, those are common, right? You can combine those. Those are like terms. So I'm going to combine those together. So I have 2x squared. This is going to become a 19, a negative 19x. And then I drop down that positive 9. And this would be in descending order, and I FOILed it properly. Okay, next problem, problem D. Okay, this is a little different. I have a binomial in the front and a trinomial behind this, okay? I'm going to show you how you basically can FOIL The foiling acronym is going to get a little messed up, so I'm going to do some arrows, but you basically would foil it kind of the same way. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give the x to each piece. So see that red arrow? I'm going to do the x. So x times 5x squared is 5x cubed. And then follow the next arrow. X times 3x is 3x squared. Then the next arrow is x times -1 is -1x. Okay, that's good. I just have to do it again because I have to give the 2 to it. So I'm going to do blue arrows. So see those 3 blue arrows? I'm going to do the same thing with the 2. Multiply it. 2 times 5x squared is positive 10x squared. 2 times 3x is 6x. And then 2 times -1 is -2. So see, I did the 3 blue arrows and I did the 3 red arrows. Once you have this, it kind of looks like yesterday where it's all in a line like that and you just combine like terms. So I'm going to kind of look through and underline. So I have a 3x squared and a 10x squared. I'm going to combine those. I have a -1x and a positive 6x. I'm going to combine those. So I'm going to do this. The 5x to the third drops down. Then the 3x squared and the 10x squared fuse together and give me a 13x squared. And then the -1x, positive 6x give me a positive 5x. And then the -2 on the end. And that would be my final answer. Personally, I like that. I've gotten pretty quick with this method, so I'm good with that. I will show you another method if that's just like, whoa, there's too many arrows or I'm going to miss a piece or something. I will show you another way in this next example to kind of organize your thoughts. It's a little bit more writing, but it might kind of help you keep things in line and more organized, okay? So let me show you. I'm going to call it the box method. It's just a trick, okay? So you have 2x minus 3 quantity squared. All this means is that 2x minus 3 is happening twice. So that same thing is happening 2 times. So I know some of you would just FOIL this, and that's fine. I get it. You would just FOIL it, okay? But let me show you this box method just to show it to you. Some of you probably have done this in the past. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this first binomial and list it along the top. So I have a 2x here and a -3. And I'm going to put a line here and I'm going to start to separate this. Okay, you'll see I'm going to start making some boxes. So that's this yellow part. And then I had the other binomial, which happens to be the same. So along the side, I'm going to do 2x and then -3. So that's this blue part. Okay, so I put the yellow along the top and the other one along the side. Let me fill in some more lines here. I basically am going to end up for this one, I have like 4 boxes in there. Okay, what you do is you multiply the boxes. So I'm going to multiply and I'm going to do 2x from the side and 2x from the top, and I multiply those and that gives me 4x squared. Okay, and then you can keep going. 2x times -3 is -6x. And then I drop down to the next row. -3 times 2x is -6x. Okay, and then I'm going to do this last one, the numbers. -3 times -3 ends up giving me a positive 9. And I did these colors on purpose because hopefully you kind of see on the diagonal, those are the like terms. So when I write my answer, it makes it kind of nice. So I'm going to start with 4x squared, that goes first. On the diagonal, the blue pieces are like terms, so I combine those to -12x, and then the green positive 9 would go next. So that's the box method. You could do that for any problem, or you could do the foiling stuff. Either one works. It does not matter. You pick whichever one you like, and kind of go with it. I know some people like the box because it keeps it nice. Okay. Let's do the box for this one because this one is going to get a little bit crazy. And what I mean by that is I have 3 binomials, 3 pieces in a row, and I can only do 2 at a time. I can't just start doing 3 together. So I can only do 2 at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and do these first 2. I'm going to go ahead and do these first 2, and I'll wait on this other one. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do my box method. So I'm going to put x on the top and minus 2 on the top. That's the yellow part. And then I'm going to put the other one in blue, the x and the minus 1, along this, nope, I don't want green, along the side. And let me make my boxes. Kind of make this look nice and organized. Okay, oops, I forgot a line. Okay, and I'm going to multiply. X times x is x squared. And then x times negative 2 is negative 2x. And I go to the next row. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. And then the numbers, negative 1 times negative 2 is a positive 2. So again, if you look on the diagonals, and I did it in colors, those are going to be like terms. So when I write this, I'm going to put it in parentheses, you'll see in a second. I have x squared. This becomes negative 3x, and then the plus 2. Remember this piece I didn't touch in the beginning? That now drops down. You don't just leave it out. You need to handle it, but I couldn't handle it until now. So I did those first two pieces, and now I have this next thing that I'm going to need to multiply. That's why I'm saying this one gets a little crazy. So now I have a trinomial times a binomial. So I'm going to do the box again because I have to multiply these. So along the top, I'm going to have x squared minus 3x plus 2. That's the yellow. Along the side, let's do blue again. I'm going to have the x in the positive 3. So that's that blue piece along the side. And then you can just take a moment and put your lines in. Mine are not that straight, but it'll do. Okay, now you need to multiply. We got a bunch of boxes here. So when I multiply this, I do x times x squared. That'll be x cubed. Then I do x times negative 3x. That's negative 3x squared. Then I do x times 2. That's 2x. Now to the next row. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. Then I do 3 times negative 3x. That's going to be a negative 9x. And then this last one is the numbers. 3 times 2 is going to give me a 6. So again, I did the colors, but you can see on the diagonals, there's like terms. So let me combine these. On the far left, I'm going to have x to the third. Then I'm going to combine the blue parts. Well, do you notice that positive 3x squared and negative 3x squared will undo each other? So those are going to be gone. They will cancel each other out. So I move on to the green part. Negative 9x plus 2x will give me a negative 7x. And then the last orange part is plus 6. And that is my final answer. So that problem was a little lengthy. I had a few kind of boxes to do. I'm just zooming it out so you can see the full picture because you can only do 2 polynomials at a time. So I did 2 of them, got my answer, and then I did the next 2 and got my final answer.